From coast to coast, back-of-house staff turn to the green jar, O'Keeffe's Working Hands. It's the secret weapon that saves dry hands after constant hand washing. Trusted by pros, America's #1 hand cream. Visit o'keeffescompany.com/restaurant daily and use code NRN for 15% off your first order. Recent McDonald's and Burger King promotions drove a material lift in traffic. Tourism has fallen this year, and it seems to be having a pretty big impact on restaurant businesses. And restaurants are feeling shortchanged by the federal government's decision to stop printing the penny. Welcome to Restaurant Daily, your quick daily download of the top news in the industry from the editors of Restaurant Business and Nation's Restaurant News. I'm NRN Managing Editor Leanne Zinsmeister.
And I'm RB Managing Editor Heather Lally. We know that McDonald's Grinch Meal and Burger King's SpongeBob menu, both launched last week, led to supply shortages at both chains. And now we know that they also drove a material lift in traffic. New data from Placer AI shows that Burger King's traffic rose nearly 19% in the week following the SpongeBob launch, while McDonald's traffic following the launch of the Grinch Meal increased nearly 15%. It's hard to capture lightning in a bottle, particularly in the noisy promotion-driven environment, but it appears that these QSR competitors were able to do just that by tapping into popular, nostalgic characters.
Tourism has fallen this year, and it seems to be having a pretty big impact on restaurant businesses. According to the U.S. Travel Association, visits from international travelers have fallen more than 6% this year. Consequently, research from the National Restaurant Association finds that 47% of operators have experienced lower sales from tourists than in previous years outside of the pandemic year. For fine dining, the issue is even more compounded as 41% of the category's sales come from visitors and tourists.
Penny for your thoughts? Not anymore, apparently. Restaurants are feeling shortchanged by the federal government's decision to stop printing the penny. The last 1-cent coin was printed last month, the ultimate result of Donald Trump's request that it stop being used. The move represents the beginning of the end of the denomination. Already, some retail and restaurant locations are out of pennies, forcing them to round to the nearest 5 cents. But restaurants want Congress to give them legal protection from nuisance lawsuits over rounding. They also want the Treasury Department to work to ensure more pennies are circulated, which will help them buy time while consumers adjust.
California Fish Grill added 5 protein-packed bowls, all featuring sustainable seafood and up to 56 grams of protein. Each build boasts a global flavor profile with ingredients including wasabi salmon and Cajun spice shrimp. Louis Jackson, executive chef of the 63-unit fast casual, travels to Vietnam, Japan, Peru, Ecuador, and other countries to source sustainable seafood and spark ideas. RB goes behind the menu to tell the story of his inspiration for the new sustainable protein bowls.
Has breakfast fully recovered from the pandemic yet? It depends on the concept. During the most recent round of earnings reports, both McDonald's and Wendy's reported continuing challenges during the morning daypart. Wendy's, which is on its 4th attempt at making the daypart work, has even allowed for some franchisees to opt out of the breakfast business if their sales aren't justifying labor costs. Conversely, First Watch reported that breakfast is its strongest daypart, while IHOP is nearing 100% recovery.
What is agentic commerce and what does it mean for restaurants? Put simply, it refers to customers of AI agents to shop online on their behalf, and it could impact restaurants' digital businesses. According to a new report from Global Payments, the ease of using agents to shop could boost conversion rates. It could also give restaurants more information about what customers are looking for. At the same time, AI agents raise security concerns, and there are questions about whether the bots could be biased or manipulated. That's all according to Global Payments.
Crew Wine Bar and Bistro has new owners. The value-positioned wine concept is known for accessible by-the-glass flights. Based in Dallas, the more than 20-year-old concept has 8 units, including 3 in airports. It was acquired earlier this year by Plano-based Mezes Capital Group, which plans to double the unit count by the end of 2027. Founder Patrick Colombo is staying on with the brand, as are much of the executive team. Read more about this buzzworthy brand's plans for growth at restaurantbusinessonline.com.
And that should do it for today's edition of Restaurant Daily. Get the latest restaurant news every weekday wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Leanne Zinsmeister.
And I'm Heather Lally. Have a great day.
Thank you for listening to today's episode of Restaurant Daily. Rate us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and subscribe.
From coast to coast, back-of-house staff turn to the green jar, O'Keeffe's Working Hands. It's the secret weapon that saves dry hands after constant hand washing. Trusted by pros, America's #1 hand cream. Visit o'keeffescompany.com/restaurantdaily and use code NRN for 15% off your first order.